Hello everyone, welcome back to Hytale. It has been an amazing time that we have had since basically the start of this series, and I can't believe we are going to be hitting double digits next week. And I kind of wanted to do a big review on what we've done thus far for the start of the season. Just as a quick heads up, next week is a very big patch. We're going to be having a whole bunch of trees and other items added to the game. So that is including our willow trees. So as of next week, we will have willow trees, so we will be able to plant them wherever we would like, which is really, really awesome. But as I said, I wanted to do a review for what we've done thus far and take us back kind of through what we've done in the past, what we're going to be possibly looking at doing in the future. So really can't wait for that. As it is, we all started back here over by the temple, and it's come a long way from when we first started. When me and Kazbak originally started playing, there was no pathway from where our spawn is to now where it is. We didn't have our tents up, but right in this little spot here where it's kind of like now covered with our little tent here, it used to be where our storage was. We just had a huge chest monster kind of crafting area. It was a thing, and it was fun, because we just went out, did things, brought it all back, and that's what we did for the longest time. Then Kazbak had a moment where he built up his tree, and I had started making plans for what I was going to be building. I had decided that I wanted to take a large amount of land and start developing it into a farmstead. So the first episode came along, and that is when we built a homestead. Now, if you can remember, our homestead did not look the way that it looks now. I think I have a screenshot of what it used to look like, and yeah, it was just a house in the middle of a huge field, and it took us a lot of time, but I'm very, very proud of this house. I will not lie, I have not finished it. It's very minimally decorated at the moment, especially down here, which is actually going to be a lounge. It's not meant to be the crafting room, but it is a crafting room nonetheless. Upstairs is a library that still hasn't been fully libraried, and around the corner is a bedroom that isn't really that much of a bedroom. I've been more or less decorating outside of here and not worrying about what's in here. And when we originally got the house, we didn't know, but downstairs in a hole that was very unknown, was one of these homes. So these homes spawn on the server already made. These are for, oh god, I can't remember what mob it is, but it's the one-eyed trader guys. It was his home, and I decided, you know what, I'm taking it over, and I took it over. So there's a sub-basement, there's a basement to my basement to my basement. So I've got like a double sub-basement, which is really hilarious because I'm never going to use it. But there's still resources down here that if I needed to, I could come down and get. There's, the books and things like that I could get if I wanted to. There's plenty of stuff. I made a few decorative decisions, like this wall here. There used to be a hole right here because there used to be a door there. I took the door out because I put the staircase in, and I changed a couple of other things around as well down here. But all in all, it is now a fairly usable space in a basement. Now, I did want an extra basement to my basement, so this is actually underneath me floor in the lounge area. So this is literally just my storage area, because storage is important, and it's got a doorway up to the start of the staircase, but also we have this underneath the stairs, so we open back up out to here. But that was episode 1, and episode 2 was probably one of my favorites to do. Episode 2 marked the start of our wonderful cornfield that has, by a long, it's taken a long time, but I have finally extended it out. It goes all the way down. This took me literally 9 episodes to do, because good God, planting in Hytale, especially using the hoe, not fun. I do not like using the hoe in Hytale. I have to literally go away and then come back. But look at this. We now have a cornfield that comes all the way down to the river. And yes, it has been a fully instated river. I had to do that. I did it. So now the river goes all the way down. It goes underneath the railway tracks. So we have a fully instated river, which is really fun. It's really janky, but you know what? I'm happy for it to be starting here and going all the way down. I'm just happy to have a river that runs underneath the other areas. But yeah, episode 2, we started off the cornfield, and I'm thinking we did decorations as well. I can't remember, but I think that was the start of us installing, I think, the footpath from here, I think. From here all the way over to where Kazbak's area is, which, by the way, I'm still really proud of this. I'm so proud that I can relay a lot of my Minecraft building to Hytale, because it's so much nicer. It's so much nicer. But I think we got the minor decorations along the pathway, and it just still looked really, really blank. And it was literally just this road here. We didn't even originally have this road, I don't think. But we did this one, which I think was fairly a good idea. But with that, moves us on to episode 3. Episode 3 not only started with us creating a fairly big wheat field, which I thought was a fairly big wheat field at that point, and also our gardening area, and also our stables, but also the descent into absolute hoeing madness, because there was a lot of hoes, and there was a lot of planting and growing, and oh my gosh, it was an entire thing, I remember. And this was pre our animals being tamed as well. So our animals would be running around crazily because we got a little bit too close to them. But you know what? For how big this wheat field is now, and I will not lie, it is big. So we originally only just had this front section here. And it grew. And it kept growing. And now this field, actually let me do this, because this will give you a better scale as to how much is there. Oh, nope, can't get any further up. Okay, yeah, we have a lot of wheat. A large amount of wheat. And this, again, took me forever to do. I did it at the same time is doing that. I just wanted to get it all done and dusted. I wanted to get it as functionally usable as possible. And now, if we need wheat, we've got wheat. We need corn, we got corn. We've got so much. And I will not lie, those silos are basically empty now. Because I've had to use the corn that was in there to create all of the seeds to plant, essentially. But it's such a good look. I love how well this looks now. It was an entire process, but I'm proud of it. I'm very, very proud of basically what I've managed to do thus far. And this garden has helped a lot, especially when it comes to making food. It's a lot of help, for sure. Our horse stables have just continued to stay being horse stables, and a pig stable because we have 2 pigs that have decided, and I don't know why, but yeah, you like sitting in the corner, don't you, buddy? But yeah, I'm fairly proud of this as well. I'm going to get some more wheat, hay bales. Keep forgetting it's hay, not wheat, once it's in a block form. But this is going to be chocker full of hay bales when I get it done. But that's going to take me a while to do because I have other things that I'm obviously planning on doing. But that moves us on to episode 4. Episode 4 brought us the big red barn. And won't lie, this barn is a barn that I enjoy making quite frequently. And I also, yeah, had a bit of trouble when I was designing how I was going to do the roof. And I wanted to make sure that everything was fairly correct. But now we've got a lovely moss horn, a friendly piggy, a chicken, because a chicken decided that it wanted to climb in here. And then we've got our sheepies, whose family have also now migrated out to here because of how much we needed for how much wool we needed for the balloon. And that was an entire thing. Our farm animals have been happily just chilling in this little paddock here, and I kind of want to make a bigger paddock for them, but at the same time I'm like, nah, I think they're okay here. But yeah, no, I'm so proud of this barn, of the fact that we have a little area where we can put our hay up into the rafters, the fact that we are able to go up as well. So a lot of people might not know this style of barn. It is an American style barn that you will kind of find in quite a lot of places. And yes, the hay generally goes up into the rafters and ends up, getting pushed through all of these little grates and stuff. So you end up with wool. You end up with piles of just wheat and all sorts down in the bottom here. But then you also have birds that will be nesting up there. So yeah, I'm fairly proud of this. This, despite it being quite dark in here, it's still quite a useful little build, and I won't lie, I kind of want to make another one so that we have 2 on the farm, but I'm okay with the one. The one is just, the one works for now. But yeah, and saying that moves us over onto episode 5. Episode 5 brings us to not only the expansion of the wheat for the first time, but also the beginnings of the windmill and also our silos for the bulk storage for our wheat and also our corn. And I will not lie, when I originally did the windmill, I didn't like it. I hated it. I wanted to keep attempting to build it, and nothing wanted to work for me until this stuck, and I enjoyed actually building that after... Would have been a couple of hours, actually. Because I couldn't get the sails to go correctly. I couldn't get the building to work with me. And I was getting frustrated because of the shape that I wanted. I wanted it kind of curvature upwards slowly instead of it being full blocks. And then I remembered, hey, Hytale, you're able to use your slabs sideways. So I did that. I used the slab sideways. It worked really well for that gentle slope that I wanted anyway. And won't lie, so grateful for Hytale allowing us to use slabs sideways. Because I won't lie, it makes building in kind of a micro scale so much easier. And also just for detailing in general. For the silos, it was fairly easy. It's just straight up and down. We don't have to worry about how that looks because it's a silo. Silos just look a certain way and they don't have to look any other, type of way. And then we did our pathway, extended our pathway out to here, and I think that was basically all it was for this episode. So let's move on to episode 6. Episode 6 brought the expenditure out to here, out onto the river, and we built our bridge, our very first troublesome bridge of probably very many at this point. But this bridge, when we originally built it, did not fit what I wanted it to look like, so I tore it all down, started again, and now it's a very nice looking bridge. With that, we also built up our dock. It did, extend out a bit further, but now it's a lovely little kind of dock area. We can get down to where the boats are, and Kazbek built this amazing dock house where we can just store things if we wanted to. Now, I did get asked about this big dungeon building. Depending on if anything is going to actually happen with the building depends on whether or not it stays. If it does end up being used and we do end up with a dungeon attached to it, maybe then we will use it. Otherwise, it could get turned into something else. And as you can see, Kazbek has been busy and I think has created another lovely bridge up here. And he has been busy? I'm not sure if this is Kazbek actually. But looks freaking awesome so far. Whatever it is. This wasn't here yesterday, so this has gone up during the night, I think, while I've been sleeping. But that's kind of cool. That kind of area out there. Interested in seeing what that turns into because, interesting. But yes, no, it brought us to the river, and I'm so happy that the river got extended out and used now, essentially. And that moves us over onto the next episode, episode 7. So episode 7 brings us to Riverside, which is the little fishing town right next door to the farm. And this place took me a while to build. I think I was here for maybe a couple of hours just making sure that I got the buildings correctly. Now, last time that we did come through here, I said that I hadn't done any of the interiors. That's not true anymore. I went in, I did interiors. So each house now has at least a bed. It has somewhere to maybe sit and to eat food if you ever wanted to eat food for some reason. But yeah, no, it's a thing. every single house I went to got a little piece added to it. But this, I think, town took me in total maybe about 16 hours to do. It was a lot of working out how I was going to do certain things. How was I sorting out like where the houses were and what they were going to be doing and things like that. Also how our market was going to be set out, which I'm fairly proud of the market myself. And I also did go out and I did find these lovely statues. So I brought the statues back and, well, we got statues to place around. And surprisingly enough, enters episode 8, which was last episode, and that is where we made the balloon, the trader's balloon for Riverside. And that balloon itself, when I was originally building it in my testing world, took me about 3 hours. Now, normally, if this was Minecraft, it wouldn't take me that long to do, but trying to sort out how things kind of relate to one of my Minecraft builds, which is this, to changing it over into Hytale, things don't work the same way. Normally, if it's like a resource pack, I would be able to go ahead and use a resource pack to change spiderweb into rope. Rope is not very nice to me. So it was a bit of a struggle bus there. But it's okay. I forgot we had chains, so chains got used instead. But yes, no. This balloon wasn't meant to be a statement or anything like that. I wanted whimsical colors to be used, and for me, whimsical coloring is yellow and blue. And again, at some later date, I would love to create more balloons. I would actually like to possibly go ahead and use the balloons as like warp points. So this balloon here is just kind of like my trial balloon for me sorting it out. But then for when we're going to use like a warp for the far north, putting a balloon there that looks very similar, slightly different, but it is our warp point. So it's not like we're just warping to a place. We've actually traveled to the place to kind of give that little bit of sense of whimsy in a not so whimsical space. Like heading down south and heading towards the desert area, making that kind of like a desert styled balloon and having that be our warp point. But that's gonna be a thing that's going to take probably quite a while for me to do. But it's something that will be done at some point in time. Yeah, I'm really just proud of this. And come next week, those dry trees will be changed out with wisteria. So I will be able to show that off as well next episode when the big change happens. Now, that being said, there is a lot that I would love to move on to, would love to do. And that's going to most definitely take a bit to do. So, let's head back to the house and we will talk about what possible plans are in the future. Okay, so now that we're back in the home and we're listening to the crackling and bubbling of the fire behind us, well, should say in front of us because we're in the kitchen, the look ahead for possibly the future, or for at least the next like 10 to 20 episodes. Well, it's going to come to that point where mega builds are going to be starting to be talked about. And if I'm being completely honest, the farm and the village and everything like that has already been the major mega build that kind of starts us off. But in that being said, there's also going to be us changing things up and moving into possibly the next section of building. So, with that being said, I wanted to know what you guys wanted. We have large sections of land, and as you can see, Kazbek's railway system goes quite a ways up, and does continue. We're going to be continuing it this way. We're also continuing it to go out this way, so it is a very large rail system. But we do have this huge piece of land here where maybe a small city slash town has started, or maybe we do the big plunge and we head to the far north and do a kind of Viking style village. That being said, I'm gonna have to wait obviously for a lot of the new materials to turn up and things like that, but that hopefully will not take too much effort. Now, that being a thing, we do have this lovely section here, which I could turn into a mountain village, and I would love to do that. Once we've got our railway system going all the way up to here, building a hub, and then making a road over into this area here. They're along the cliffside. It would make sense. They're at the base of the mountains, and I could do a small dwarven town that have obviously dug into the mountains and made a home there. And going very Hobbit-esque and doing whimsy for that dwarven town. The other thing that I could also do is, taking this section here, which is, again, not too far away from the farm. It is literally just over the rails. And I mean, this is spawn here. So making a big town here that is a fully bordered town would be really cool to do. But A, that is a lot of clearing. B, that is a lot of building with materials and things like that. But thankfully we have a cobble generator. I will have to ask Kazbek where that is, but it's a really interesting thing that does generate a fair amount of cobblestone. Our cobblestone actually over in our community center is chock full of cobblestone because of this amazing generator that Cass has made. So that's the question for you guys. Do you want to see me build a town, almost city, that is encircled in a large wall? Or would you like me to go ahead and make the small dwarven town first? Actually, let me show you from actually a proper bird's eye view as to what these pieces of land look like. Sorry. And I'll let you guys determine which one we would rather do to start off with. So, welcome to that first piece of land that could be turned into the town slash city that is surrounded by a wall. It is a large, and I mean large area with a lake, which is quite nice. But it has a lot of room in this area, as you can see. And I mean, I'm not even halfway yet. I'm still over the forest area here. So it's going to take us quite a while to kind of build up, fill the space, and things like that. And this here is most definitely going to be a mega build that we're going to have multiple people helping out with, because even this area here, and it's quite empty, it's still got a lot of hills and things like that that we would have to deal with. And I won't lie, that takes time and effort, and it's going to be a while. Upside, there is already a very well-established mine in the area, so we won't have to do too much to actually reestablish this mine. But it is also on the main trunk, as you can see, and we'll just keep on heading up the line until we get to the second area, which is the dwarf area. So, welcome to what would be the end of the rail line. This is where I would probably end up building a kind of central hub for when we wanted to shoot off into the next areas. But just along this pathway here, if we just keep going, there is treacherous bears and other little creatures that decide that they want to attempt to try and get you. But meandering our way through the trees, we will be coming over to where I would like to put the dwarven town. Now, on the map, it looks like it is an incredibly small area, but it's actually fairly big next door to the redwood and also next door to these mountains. And as you can see, we're looking down off a cliffside into a kind of majestic area here. We could establish a waterfall area just over here to make that kind of seem more lore sensitive and things like that. But I think this is the most beautiful area to set up a mining town that is of a dwarven nature. There's already a lot of trees and things like that, so I won't have to, thankfully, take a lot out. But I think it'll be really fun to build the dwarven town here. It's... Let me just hop down here so you guys can see, like, how amazing is this area, and being able to come along into your town and then just look up to the majestic mountains. I can imagine a big dwarven entrance into one of these mountains to go delving deep into the earth. But I will give you a little sneak peek. There is caves, so many caves. And if we can just build underneath this mountain, yes, it's going to be a lot of digging, but that's the entire point of it. Fun thing is that underneath this mountain, now I already knew about these, but there are soul trees down here, and I would love to expand on the soul tree lore down here specifically. Because we have a soul tree that's kind of dying outside already. And I kind of want to bring the soul trees into the dwarven kind of lore. So our tree that is above ground. So we have 2 soul trees underground. But we do have a soul tree that is above ground as well. So this is our dead soul tree that is literally just at the base of where we would be having the town, which is just up here. This is the town here. But yeah, it's a dead soul tree, and I really do like the way that it looks, and the fact that this kind of magical area has, I would say, probably sucked the life out of this tree. And I would say that the dwarves who have seen this happening over an extended period of time, because I would say that the rest of this area here did once upon a time used to look like an autumn forest, and now no longer looks like it because it has been taken over by magic. I would say that they're probably quite upset, and the sacred trees that are the soul trees have become their big thing. I don't know what I would do with the other area, but that's kind of like the dwarven kind of thing that I've kind of come up with for this area. And this is going to be such a long project, especially for hollowing out the mountain and making the mountain what it is. But I want to make sure that this dwarven city, town, is all about magic. We want to preserve as much as we can of the soul tree and what that means for the dwarves. Maybe that is their sources of power. That's how they're able to continue to light the lamps in the tunnels that they have. Maybe it's the way that they're able to keep their hearths burning for so long and for so hot, because they're using the power that these soul trees have given them to kind of like build up their town and become the guardians, essentially. Upside, there are a lot of white wolves, and I would really love to go ahead and actually tame them at some point in time, but I don't think we can tame them as of yet. But yeah, look, even now, there's still bits of a soul tree coming down here. I want to know what you guys would like to do. I personally, if I'm going to say it, I am personally more invested in doing this dwarven town than I am the other one, because that one there is going to probably take both myself and Kazbek, and it's going to be years. I feel it's going to take me years to kind of plan that out. But this here, at least, I would be able to set it up into districts. I'd be able to build prefabs of homes of how I would like them to look and get them kind of sorted as much as possible. And I think the biggest one for me is going to probably be the big dig, which is going to take me years to dig out. It's not going to take me years, it's just going to take me a good while to be able to dig out and hollow the mountain so that it is good enough for people to have made homes in. Again, I'm going to be taking a Lord of the Rings style when it comes to building this up, and kind of want to do it. I want to create statues that will loom and things like that, but we will also be finishing off the train track, so we will probably end up helping Kazbek off screen to finish off the train track so that we're able to do the hub first. So yeah, I know that I'm waffling on about doing the Dwarven Village, but I'm really excited to possibly build that. It could be that I make an executive decision and actually do the Dwarven Town before we look at building a city, because I won't lie, that's a big thing. Oh, I've got a lot of plans. I've got a lot of thoughts and things like that coming up in my head, but I'm excited. Let me just put it that way. I'm excited to move forward for the future of this series, essentially. But however we want to decide on what we're doing, this has basically been the episode. It is the markup of what we are going to be doing in the future. And I kind of want to show you guys all of the thumbnails that we have done for the last 8 episodes, now 9 episodes. And I'm gonna be a bit soppy right now, but thank you so much for watching. It does mean a lot to me that you guys have been here and have been enjoying the series. I have been really worried that it wouldn't go anywhere, but having people watching has helped a lot with me building and continuing on doing a series at all, really. So thank you. That's all I can really say is thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you for showing so much love towards me creating again for YouTube. As a lot of you know, I am a Twitch streamer. Have been a Twitch streamer since a very young age. Back when the platform was still called Justin TV, and that was so many years ago now. So for me to now class myself as not only a Twitch streamer but also a YouTuber, it makes me proud and it makes me happy that I'm able to create and entertain people. Even if I'm just like background noise, I'm always happy, because I know a lot of people do find my voice very calming and everything like that, and I'm okay with being background noise. I would much rather you know, maybe get some sleep or something like that and just have my videos playing in the background, because then it allows not only you to support me, but you're getting sleep, which is really important. I will not lie. But I'm excited for the future, not only for my YouTube channel, but also for Hytale. I have supported Hypixel for the longest time. Back in the day when there was only the MVP plus, what was it? Rank that you could buy. I bought an MVP plus rank. That was the only one for the longest time. I jumped on there not like maybe a week or so ago, and I still have the rank, and there's so much happening on that Minecraft server. It's amazing. So this is for the Hypixel group. You guys have done so amazing since starting that server on Minecraft to now you guys being a studio and creating a amazing voxel based game that brings me back. It constantly it gives me nostalgia of back in the day when I started playing Minecraft, but it's also bringing me back, and it actually makes me want to play more. There are times where I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what game do I want to play? Oh, I could do some stuff on Hytale. I used to be like that with Minecraft. I so used to be like that, but Minecraft doesn't have the same oomph that it used to from back in the day. But Hytale has reignited that for me, and being the age that I am, to have seen you guys go from a small little server that then started growing over a huge amount of time to now being the studio that you are and creating Hytale. I could never be more proud of you guys. So thank you for being amazing. Thank you for creating an amazing game that you guys are developing so quickly, by the way. Just thank you so much for everything that you guys are doing. For my audience and for my friends who have been watching, thank you so much as well. You guys have been a lot of help towards me continuing this considering continuing these series. I can't wait for the future and what Hytale has to bring to us and what else we can continue to build, essentially. But I'm gonna stop rambling now so you guys can go and just chill out until the next episode, which hopefully we will have our update and we'll be able to scream and yell and be excitable and stuff like that. So without further ado, thank you for coming and watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It does help me a lot. Make sure you hit that little thumbs up, because that helps me a lot as well. And I will see you guys in the next episode, which is, surprisingly enough, episode 10. So excited for it. And I cannot wait to start on our next big project. But until then, be safe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.